The seat taken.
Sarah?
Hi, Alec.
Jesus. Where did you come from?
Just passing through, really. Thought I'd drop in on you. Do you come here often?
Only when there's a dance on.
Seriously?
Yeah, every now and then. Helps me think. Anyway, it's great to see you. I thought you were in America.
I am.
It's a bit out of your way, isn't it? How have you been? I haven't seen you in...
8 years.
Really? That's a long time.
Too long.
Doesn't feel it, though. Seems like yesterday. You haven't changed a bit.
It's the miracle of henna. Great, isn't it?
The last time I saw you was the night before we all went home from college. Do you remember that party?
At Steve's house.
Yeah.
How could I forget it? I had a hangover for at least 3 days after that.
Those tequila slammers will get you every time.
God, I still can't even look at the stuff without feeling sick.
You did win the bet. Poor old Steve. I've never seen anyone look that green before.
Teach him to say women can't drink as much as men. It's all Davy's fault anyway.
It always is. What did Prof O'Connor call him?
Dastardly David.
We were really happy that night. If someone had told me I wouldn't see you or Davy again, I'd have been depressed. Do you remember that time we went to Calais? Who was it again? You, me and Davy. Oh yeah, and Steve and his weird cousin.
Hilda. Yeah, she was pretty weird.
God, she didn't just hate men, she hated life.
Who could blame her the way you and Davy kept on going on about her sex life?
We were pretty drunk. I couldn't remember what time the ferry was leaving. If it hadn't been for you, we'd still be sitting in that little pub with Davy trying to sing along to those Edith Piaf records.
God. Do you remember the waiter? Monsieur, you will have to leave.
Yeah, he was probably from Brixton. Do you hear from him anymore?
The waiter?
No, Davy.
Yeah, all the time. I got a letter from him last week, actually. He was asking about you. He's married now.
Really?
Yeah, he's got 2 kids. The eldest is called Alec, as if one wasn't enough.
I haven't seen him in years either. I could never imagine Davy being married. His wife must be some woman.
She is. He can tell you all about her when he gets here.
What? Where is he? Did you come here together?
Sort of.
I don't get it. Where are you staying? How long are you here for?
Not long. As I said, just passing through.
Is there anyone else? I mean, Prof O'Connor isn't going to jump out in a minute, is he?
Stranger things have happened.
Not to me, they haven't. I don't see anyone in years, and all of a sudden there's a reunion.
We're worried about you. You haven't kept contact or anything.
I was always useless at writing letters. I just never seemed to have the time.
It doesn't take that much time, does it?
I know. It's hard to sit down and write, though. I mean, where do I start?
Dear Sarah, I like it. Sounds good to me.
You know what I mean. Hi. The weather's lousy. I hate my life. Wish you were here.
Would be a start. At least I'd know not to visit till the weather got better.
It's not like it was then. Things change.
Exactly. You're on self-destruct. You won't let anyone get close to you. I know, you've just cut yourself off. That doesn't help either. I mean, wake up for God's sake, Alec. Look, I didn't come here to kid around. I'm worried about you. You've got to get your act together.
Of what? You've been in America too long.
You know what I'm saying.
Sure, honey.
Oh, get a life.
Get a life.
Why'd I bother coming? I'm wasting my time.
Please. Don't go. I'm glad to see you again. I am. I know I haven't kept in touch, but not a day goes by without me thinking about you. And Davy. One half of me wants to run away from all this, back to those days. I just can't seem to forget what it was like. Every time I think about it, which is often, I want to crawl back into the mere then and not come out. You know, when I get really lonely, I mean so sad that I could just look up at the stars and think that they were the same stars you look at. Sometimes I wish I could meet myself back then and shake me. I know what I'd say. These are the best days of your life. Make the most of them, because they won't come back. Yeah, and I'd thump you. You sold me out. You used to talk about the great things you're going to do, I'm going to do. Now all you think about is the great things that happen. Like we're so special or something. Well, things aren't that great. I suppose you've forgotten that we never have any money. Most of the time we're stuck in the library studying. You remember that? We just sit around talking about the great things we're going to do. And you sit there drowning yourself. What you need is a kick up the arse.
Ah, leave him alone, the old bollock.
Davy, where did you come out of?
I was over there.
I heard you got married. She must be a real savage, not to mention desperate.
Don't start with me.
Where did you find her? Down by the docks?
Oh, hold me back. I'll kill him, I'll tear him apart, I swear.
Go on, I'll hit you so hard, I'll bruise your whole family. Look!
Dead seagull. So, the Yank found you, eh?
Yep, she's been giving me abuse for not writing.
It's true, you know. You'd swear you'd catch something.
Don't you start too. When did you ever know me to write a letter?
The telephone works too, you lazy git.
Married. There's no hope at all. I'm the only one left now to keep the torch burning. I thought you said you'd be caught dead and buried before you'd be caught married. What happened?
I fell in love and I got married. I was wrong. Marriage is a wonderful institution.
But who wants to be institutionalized?
I don't know who's worse. You're 10 times as bad when you're together.
In all seriousness, she's a wonderful woman. I've 2 kids as well.
Yeah, I heard. We even called one of them Alec.
Yeah, I was confused. I couldn't think of a name. They were pouring the holy water and I was still scratching my head. I muttered Alec, and the next thing the poor nipper's blighted for life.
He was lucky. God only knows what goes through your head. It's a good job it wasn't a girl. Tell me, what's the other one called? Smart.
Oh, the comedian. No, her name is Caroline, actually. Named after my great-aunt Constance.
The one everyone called Nancy.
That's the one. It's a wonderful thing having kids. You should try it.
I probably have for all I know.
No, I mean a family. You're like a dog tied to a stick. You're running round in circles, not getting anywhere.
You should talk. This coming from someone who bought a Morris Minor and drove the arse off it in every small town and pub in the country. Do you remember that car?
Remember it? He's still driving it.
I have got to get back. Look, we'll have to go out for a drink some night. You know where I live.
I'll have your letter somewhere.
I have her address too if you want it. Jesus, Alec, she's living in God's country now and I see more of her than I do of you. When are you going to cop on? One of these days you're going to wake up dead and then where will you be?
6 foot under, pushing up daisies. I'll be haunting you at the weekends. There'll be no sex then. Oh, what are you doing to the girl? Keep your hands off her, you lecher.
That'd be just like you. Anyway, I've wasted enough time here. I'm late as it is.
She has a tight rein, does she? Keeps an old man under her thumb, eh? Now you'll be back here before 10.
Not at all. Did it ever occur to you that I might want to go home? Snuggle up in front of the fire, turn out the lights. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to corrupt you. You better write to me, or I'll come looking for you, and the real me is a lot meaner.
They were good times.
The best.
It's funny the way life goes, isn't it? One minute we're all hanging around the college bar thinking we'll be friends forever. And now, 8 years later, here we are. Everyone's gone their own way.
Doesn't have to be that way.
I give up everything I have now to be standing outside the library, hoping you'd be there. You could make a good day better. I was in love with you back then. You probably still am. No, I definitely am. Do you remember the night we walked down by the river? That was the first time we ever held hands. We stopped by that big tree and sat there, not talking, looking at the reflections in the water. There were a million stars out that night. I can still see your face, as clear as day. It really felt like we were kindred spirits. Maybe you and I were thinking the same thoughts.
This isn't right. It's not supposed to happen like this.
I sometimes wonder what it'd be like being married to you. Coming home from work to a warm kitchen. Hello, darling.
Hello.
How was your day?
Well, let's see. The plumber never showed up, the kids got soaked coming home from school, and the dog is sulking. Apart from that, just fine. Oh, did you remember to take the car in for a service?
No, I completely forgot. I'll do it tomorrow, I promise.
No way!
What?
You wouldn't last a week.
I would if I was with you. I love you, Sarah. I love the times we spent together.
Look, I know what you're saying. I feel that way too. I mean, I love you, but in a different way. I love my husband. He's a big part of my life. You and Davy have a place in my heart. A special place. I remember college too, you know. But it doesn't make me sad. It makes me feel good. How can I explain this? We were just kids. Everything we did was filled with meaning and importance. We could have the world. You were the writer and I was the concert violinist. Do you remember? I thought I could do anything.
What happened with your music?
Well, I went to London and trained there for a couple of years, and then to New York, but there were people there who were just so much better than me. People with real talent. I realised maybe it wasn't what I wanted after all. Maybe I liked the idea more than the reality. Do you understand? Now I teach music to young girls, play in an orchestra twice a week. It's not Carnegie Hall, but in a way I prefer it.
Rubbish. You copped out. Here you are talking about me and you gave up. Someone came along who you thought was better. You just threw it all away.
That's not true.
You used to talk about how you play solo at the Royal Albert Hall or even Carnegie Hall. Instead, you're some high school teacher in New York teaching music to delinquents.
You don't know me at all. I haven't given up anything. I like my life and I wouldn't change a thing. At least I'm not sitting here slowly killing myself living in the past.
I still have my dreams.
No, you don't, Alec. You have your memories and there's a big fucking difference. You can't talk about me. I've made my own decisions about giving up. I haven't given up. I'm doing what I want to do. What have you done? Fuck you! Fuck!
Sorry.
Look. I came here to help. I don't need you, of all people, to tell me I copped out. The difference between you and me is that I'm happy with my life. I don't need to crawl into some bottle and hide.
I didn't mean that about giving up.
It's just that seeing you and Davy tonight, you're both so... You're making me feel like some sort of failure. I'm not. I have a life too, you know. I'm doing all right.
All I'm saying is that I'd give it all up tomorrow to be back there. There'll never be a time like that again.
I think about college too. I know Davy does. The difference is I think about it in a nice way. It just upsets you. To be honest, I don't think I could stand being back there now. I've changed. I'm older. If I drink too much, I just get a headache. Come to think of it, I used to get a headache back then too. Look, I'll always remember those days and what we had. I hope we can be friends forever. I don't know, maybe we'll be sat around talking about jobs and diapers or... But that's who we are now. We're not kids anymore, Alec. That doesn't mean to say we can't be friends. You've just got to make an effort.
You're right. But I don't know. There was a certain... I just don't know. I know what you're saying. I just can't see myself sitting down talking about those days like some old film. I want to be there.
Davy and I rarely talk about those old days. We talk about what's happening this week. I actually look forward to getting up in the morning. You're right. Not so much getting up as being up. My life's too full to wallow.
You think I'm wallowing?
No. All I'm saying is that the here and now is important.
So what you're saying is that we've just drifted apart. Is that it?
Alec, if we've drifted apart, it's because you haven't kept in touch. And I'd like you to. You just don't seem ready to do that.
You're right. As usual. I'd like to hear how you and Davy are getting on. I mean, I didn't know he was married or anything.
You've got to start writing. To us, I mean. You've got Davy's address, send him a letter. He'd love to hear from you, and I would too.
Why didn't you ever write?
I don't have your address. Davy said he'd written to you a couple of times, and you never ever replied. Please write. To him and me. He'll give you my address in New York.
Okay.
Promise?
Promise.
It's almost dawn.
The darkest hour.
Are you going to be all right?
Yeah.
I've got to go.
Sarah? Nothing lasts forever, does it?